Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Overseas Academy. Today we are going to see daily current affairs of July 11th. So today we are going to discuss the topics of divorced Muslim women entitled to maintenance under the secular state. So that is comes under GS 2 paper under social justice. Next, Russia India agreed to trade in national currency, which comes under GS 2 paper international relations. Our next topic is India drilling a 6-kilometer deep hole in Maharashtra, which comes under GS 1 geography paper. Next, saving the stars. We have to know environment perspective. Next, power of attorney and editorial analysis. And finally, we'll be seeing the mapping. Our first topic is about divorced Muslim woman entitled maintenance under the secular state. So the Supreme Court has ruled that a divorced Muslim woman is entitled to seek maintenance from her husband under Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, that is CRPC. The code asserted that any discrimination against Muslim women in matters of alimony under secular laws of the country would be regressive and against gender justice and equality. Now, what is about the judgment? First, the judgment says about the legal standing. In legal standing, there cannot be the disparity in receiving maintenance on the basis of the law under which a woman is married or divorced. Next, under the application of 125, Justice Nagaratnam emphasized Section 124 of the CRPC cannot be excluded from its application to be divorced Muslim woman, irrespective of the law under which she is divorced. Next is the role of 1986 Act. So the judgment underscored that the rights guaranteed under the 1986 Act to receive maintenance during iddat and or in addition to, not in derogation of those sections under 125 of the CRPC. Next, in section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, what is the purpose? It's maintain orders. Section 125 of the CRPC provides for the maintenance of wives, children, and parents who are unable to maintain themselves. Next, what are the key provisions? The key provisions are: first, eligible persons, that is, wife includes a divorced wife who has not remarried, legitimate and illegitimate minor children. Adult children are unable to maintain themselves due to physical or mental abnormalities. Next, parents include both father and mother who are unable to maintain themselves. Next, the conditions. The person liable to pay maintenance has sufficient means. The person liable has neglected to or refused to maintain the eligible person. The magistrate can order a monthly allowance for maintenance of eligible person, and maximum amount, there is no fixed maximum amount, it is determined by the magistrate based on the circumstances. Now, what are the significance? The significance are social justice and secular applicability. In social justice, it aims to prevent vagrancy and destitution by ensuring that dependents are provided for. Next, in secular applicability, it applies to all religious and it is not specific for any particular religion. With this, we have to know about Muslim Women Protection Rights on Divorce Act 1986. First, we'll having the maintenance. Under maintenance, it says that during the iddat period, a Muslim woman is entitled to a reasonable and fair provision and maintenance from her husband during the iddat period, the waiting period after divorce. Next, the post-iddat maintenance. If she cannot maintain herself after the iddat period, she can claim maintenance from her relatives who would inherit her property on her death. If no relatives are available, the state Waqf board is responsible for her maintenance. Next, mer, that is dower. The woman is entitled to the payment of mer that was agreed upon onto the time marriage. Next, the return of property. The woman is entitled to all the properties given to her before or the time of marriage or after the marriage by her relatives, friends, husband, or any other person. Now, rights of children. The Act provides for the maintenance of children born out of the marriage until they reach the age of 2 years. Next is the application to magistrate. Under application to magistrate, it says a divorced woman or some acting on her behalf can apply to a magistrate for an order under the Act. The magistrate has the authority to make orders for payments of maintenance made and return of property. Now, what are the criticism and issues seen here? The criticism is the first thing is limited scope. Next, dependence on relatives. Next, role of Waqf board. Next, violation of rights to equality. So these are the criticisms seen. With this, we have to discuss about the previous year question paper which have been asked in the prelims 2019. So which article of the Constitution of India safeguards one's rights to marry the person of one's choice? The answer is Article 21. Next, our topic is about Russia-India agreed to trade in national currency. So about the news, we have to see first. India and Russia agreed to establish a national currency settlement system during the Prime Minister Modi to visit Russia and deepening economic ties and discussions on geopolitical issues, including Ukraine and fraudulent induction of Indians into the Russian army. So here, Babuskin criticized Western support for Ukraine and described the peace conference in Switzerland as tamaksha and highlighted the emergence of new independent power centers like India and Russia. Russia's friendship with China should not concern India, according to Babuskin. Russia is the fourth largest trading partner in India with significant growth in trade, particularly in energy. After Western sanctions on Russia, Modi and Putin discussions focused on economic operation and issue of Indian national fraudulently inducted into Russian army. With this, we have to know about Indian-Russia relations. So, first we'll see in a geopolitical. Under geopolitical, dependent on strategic partnership with India holds a lot of geopolitical importance for India. Russia support on critical issues and Russia supports Indian demand for permanent seat in UNSC, and it also has supported India's stand on Kashmir issue. It also counterbalancing Chinese aggression. Russia can help in refusing the rising tensions with China. The next is defense. So Russia still remains a critical defense supplier for India with 60 to 70% of Indian defense equipment estimated to be Russian and Soviet origin. Though India has diversified its defense imports from countries like US, France, it still cannot alienate Russia, especially in the face of Chinese aggression in the border. The third is economic. The purchase of large amounts of Russian oil at a discount cushions India have the inflammatory impact of rising crude prices. India is contemplating a free trade agreement with the Eurasian Economic Union led by Russia. The next is strategic balancing. The smooth Indian-Russia relations offer India to better bargaining chip in negotiations with Western powers, and it also offers India strategically balanced and aligned with the powers according to its national interest. And its visit is taking place. Leaders of the 32 nations of North Atlantic Treaty Organization gather in Washington, D.C. to celebrate 75 years of anti-Russian military alliances. Close Indian-Russia relations provides New Delhi the opportunity to offset the Chinese advantages in Eurasia. With this, we have to know about the challenges also. The challenges are deepening of India-US relations. Next, Russia's growth dependence on China. Trade imbalances. defense delays, and finally the Ukraine crisis. So these are the challenges seen in India-Russia relations. With this, we have to know about the previous year question paper, which is asked in prelims 2019. Recently, India signed a deal with Action Plan for Prioritization and Cooperation Areas in the Nuclear Field with which of the following countries? Here, the answer is B, Russia. And our next topic is about India drilling a 6-kilometer deepening hole in Maharashtra. Why it is in news? Earthquakes remain unpredictable, especially minor ones in tectonic plate interiors. Scientific deep drilling is crucial for studying these earthquakes and understanding the Earth's deeper layers. India's Borehole Geophysics Research Laboratory is leading efforts in Koyna Varna region to gain insights into earthquake mechanics and the earth composition. Now with this we have to know about the earthquakes remain unpredictable, especially those occurring within the tectonic plates. Minor earthquakes in unexpected sites pose significant risk to populated areas. Scientific deep drilling is essential for understanding earthquake and the Earth's deeper layers. In this, we have to know about what is the scientific deep drilling. Scientific deep drilling involves creating boreholes to study deeper parts of the Earth's crust. It helps analyze geological formations, energy resources, life forms, and climate change patterns. In India, the Borehole Geophysics Research Laboratory oversees the deep drilling program focusing on Koyna Varna region in Maharashtra, which has frequent earthquakes linked to the Koyna Dam. Now, what are the benefits of deep drilling missions? Surface level observations are insufficient for studying earthquakes. Drilled boreholes provide direct in-situ experiments and monitor fault lines and seismic activity. So they offer fundamental knowledge of the earth crust, aiding the understanding geohazards and georesources. Also, deep drilling also fosters technological innovations in seismology and related fields. Now, what are all the challenges have been seen here? Scientific deep drilling is the labor and capital intensive due to the harsh conditions of the Earth's interior. Maintaining boreholes and ensuring the integrity of collected samples are technically demanding. Troubleshoots issues are great depths in complicated and equipment can get stuck or damaged. Human resources are another challenge requiring highly skilled personnel for extended periods. Now, what are the drilling technique has been seen here? The Koyna pilot borehole uses a combination of mud rotatory drilling and air hammering. Rotatory drilling involves a steel rod with a diamond embedded drill bit cooled by drilling mud. Then the air hammering uses the compressed air to deepen the borehole and flush out the cuttings. Decisions on drilling techniques are dynamic based on rock type and conditions countered. Next, the findings from the pilot drilling mission. So, the mission revealed 1.2 kilometer thick layer of 65 million year old Deccan trap lava flows and 2500 to 2700 million year old granite rocks. Measurements provided new information on rock properties, fluid compositions, temperatures, stress regimes, and fracture orientations. High resolution images on borehole wall were captured for data validation. Experiments measured rock stress regimes, providing insights into the recurrent earthquakes. Now, what are the key discoveries of it? Presence of water down to 3 kilometers indicating deep percolation and circulation. The Koyna region is critically stressed, making it prone to frequent small magnitude earthquakes. The future aspects is the data from the pilot will guide future drilling missions. Expected temperatures at 6 kilometers depth are 110 to 130 degrees Celsius, necessitating specially designed equipment and sensors. The Koyna project is laying the groundwork for future scientific deep drilling efforts in India and contributing to the global geological research. So that's all from this topic. Our next topic is about saving the stars. Why it is in news? Malaysia has seized about 200 smuggled Indian star tortoise and turtles in the major crackdown. The Indian star tortoise is the single most confiscated species of freshwater tortoise in the world, according to the wildlife trade watchdog, that is traffic. So now we have to know about this Indian star tortoise. Its scientific name is Geochilon elegans. It is its scientific name. Its IUCN status is it is listed as vulnerable on IUCN Red List due to the habit of loss, poaching for pet trade, and illegal trafficking. It appears as a small to medium-sized tortoise with a distinctive star-shaped pattern on its carapace. Now, the distribution is found in India, primarily in dry and arid regions of southern and western India. Its habitat are found in central and southern India, West Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Typically, it resides in dry, open habitats such as scrub forest, grassland, and rocky outcroppings. It has diet type of herbivorous and feeding on various plant materials including grasses, leaves, and fruits. The diet we have shown. Now the behavior is they are primarily territorial but can swim and may soak in a water bodies to regulate their body temperature. The reproduction is the females lay small clutches of eggs, typically in sandy or loamy soil, with incubation lasting several months. Their protection status is IUCN Red List come under vulnerable and under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 has scheduled in Schedule 1 and insights it comes under Appendix 1. Now, what are the threats seen here? The habitat fragmentation due to urbanization and agricultural practices, loss of genetic diversity due to hybridization. 90% of trade occurs in international pet market according to the Wildlife Crime Control Board. With this, we have to see the previous year question paper which have been asked in prelims 2019. Consider the following statement. Some species of turtles are herbivorous. Some species of fish are herbivorous. Some species of marine mammals are herbivorous and some species of snakes are viviparous. So in this the answer is D. All these are the correct statement. Our next topic is about power of attorney. Why it is in news? The Supreme Court recently observed and there would be an implied revocation of power of authority granted to the agent. It is the act of principle. Choosing to act for himself is known as the agent and third person. Now we have to know about power of attorney. It is a legal authorization that gives the agent of attorney, in fact, that authority to act on behalf of an individual referred to as the principle. It is just the delegation of power by one person to another who in turn acts as his agent. There is a principal agent relationship between them. The agent may be given broad or limited authority to make decisions about the principal's property, finance, investments, or medical care, depending on the terms of POA. A POA comes into a play in the event that the principal is incapacitated by the illness and disability. The agent may also act on behalf of the principal in case of the person is not readily available to sign off the financial and legal transactions. The types of POA include conventional, also as limited power of attorney durable, which will last for lifetime unless you cancel. Its bringing, which only comes into play for specific events, and medical, also known as durable power of attorney for healthcare. The POA lapses when the creator dies, revokes it, or when it is invalid by the court law. Also, this POA also ends when the creator divorces a spouse charged with the POA or when an agent is not able to continue carrying out the outlined duties. With this, we have to know about the previous year question paper UPSC have been asked in 2022 with the reference to India. Consider the following statement. Government law officers, legal firms are recognized as advocates, but corporate lawyers and patent attorneys are excluded from recognition as advocates. Bar Council have the power to lay down the rules relating to education and colleges. Here answer is B. So they are asking only the correct statement. So only 2 is correct. Our next topic is editorial analysis. Under editorial analysis, we are going to discuss the India's demographic journey. Demographic journey of hits and misses. So, The article highlights India's demographic journey and progress towards the achieving sustainable development goals amidst challenges such as population aging, health disparities, and income inequalities. It underscores the importance of addressing these issues through comprehensive policies for sustainable and inclusive development by 2030. The status is the world population have touched 5 billion in 1987, and the challenges such as poverty, health, and gender inequality were plaguing the world, developing countries in particular. These decades of 1960s to 1970s were scary as the global population was growing at yearly rate of 2%. For India, there was a prediction of doom. This meant that widespread poverty, hunger, and deaths were soon to follow in the next decades. However, despite predictions, the next decades told a different story altogether. Global fertility rates declined rapidly due to the improvements in living conditions and medical infrastructure. Life expectancy increased. With 2030, the target year drawing closer, India's progress in the SDGs should be understood particularly in light of its population dynamics. Now, the India's population dynamics. Three components, namely fertility, mortality, and migration. So these play a pivotal role in shaping India's demographic landscape. India has made significant strides in reducing its fertility. According to the National Family Health Survey, India total fertility rate decreases from 3.4 to 2 between 1992 to 2021, dropping below the replacement level of 2.1. So with this, India is experiencing a demographic shift towards an aging population. According to 2011 census, individuals agreed 60 years and above constituted 8.6% of the total population. Here the figure is projected to rise up to 19.5 by 2050. Now what are the change in the dynamic scene here? India's population dynamics is intertwined with the development scenario. The reduction in fertility signifies a transition towards smaller family norms. This can reduce the proportion of the dependent population and result in the demographic dividend, a period where the working age population is larger than the dependent population. India can harness the potential of its young workforce by creating the employment. The decline in mortality and increase in life expectancy are reflections of a robust healthcare system and increased living standards. The issue of population aging, however, requires a long-term plan focusing on geriatric care and providing social security benefits. Also, the women labor force participation, which is straggling their noble absence from the political representation and their unending plight within society, or the silent issues which can shortage in India's path to 2030. So, what are all the demographic dividend? Demographic dividend is defined by the United Nations Population Fund as the economic growth potential that can result from shifts in population age structure, mainly when the share of the working age population is larger than the non-working age share of population. Here, India's population pyramid reveals that over two-thirds of the population of its working age with elderly compromising less than 7%. This advantage can create resources needed to increase investments in enhancing human capabilities, which in turn can have the positive influence on the growth. Now, what are the importance of Indians' demographic dividend? The first thing is labor supply. Next, the capital formation. Next, economic growth. And boost to innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. And finally, the female human capital. So these are the importance for demographic dividend. Now, what are the challenges seen here? The challenges are lack of job creation, lack of quality education, poor health and nutrition, poor health and nutrition. Next, social and cultural barrier. And finally, the environmental issue. So these are the challenges seen in under this. And finally, we will see the mapping. Yesterday, we have saw the mapping topic. In that, we have saw about the freshwater lakes, saltwater lakes, and other lakes. Now, in this video, we'll continue with the artificial lakes. Here, the artificial lakes, often known as reservoirs, are used all over the world as source of water. The artificial lakes are frequently created by damming a section of a river and holding the water in a reservoir behind a dam. Throughout seasonal fluctuations, water flow and precipitation add to the reservoir, avoiding evaporation. They can also be built by excavating land and enclosing water using dikes. Now, what are the artificial lakes seen in India? We have Boston Lake, which is located in Madhya Pradesh. Next, Gobind Sagar Lake, which is located in Himachal Pradesh. Next, Jaisamant Lake, which is located in Rajasthan. Next, Hussain Sagar Lake, which is located in Telangana. Next, we are going to see the crater lakes. The crater lakes is an volcanic crater or crater creates a water-filled depression known as a crater lake. Lonar Lake is the best example for crater lake in India. It is one of the planet's only 4 known hypervelocity impact craters in basaltic rock. Water can come from the precipitation, groundwater circulation, or melting glaciers. Its level rises until the balance is reached between the speeds of entering and deepening water. The Lonar Lake. The Lonar Lake is the only known extraterritorial impact crater and found in within the vast Deccan Traps as the large basaltic rock in India. A meteor or asteroid collide with Lonar Lake as a forming a lake. Now, what are the significance of this lake? Lakes are significant for a variety of purposes, including controlling river flow, storing water during dry seasons, preserving the ecosystem, and producing hydroelectric power. The Himalayan area has the majority of freshwater lakes. They come from the Ice Age. To put it another way, they were formed where glaciers carved out of a basin that are subsequently filled with snowmelt. A lake aids in the regulation of river flow. It reduces flooding, flowing heavy rains, and it aids maintaining a steady flow of water throughout the dry season. Also, they assist to regulate climate in the area, manage an aquatic habitat, increase natural beauty, promoting tourism, and offering recreation. So that's all from today's topics. To read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. To see more current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Thank you.